Zach, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Extra Healthy-ish.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your new book.
Yes, thank you. Good Influences out now. So
yeah, how
happy
does that
days.
feel?
It's surreal. It's pretty crazy. It's a long time now. It's probably 12 months of solid work getting it written, done, finished now, edited. So the fact that it's out there it's been crazy.
It's kind of bizarre when you do a book. I wrote a book a couple of years ago because you kind of do it and then you send it off and then you come back to it and you have to do all talking about it.
Yeah, and even the actual finishing the editing was different because I thought I was done once I handed in the first manuscript. I thought it was finished. And they go, awesome, so editing, here's some... And I was like, I'm writing again now. And it was like another
yeah, exactly.
2 months of just like smashing it out. But it's so satisfying to see it all done.
Yeah, well done.
Thank
Great
you.
book. Now, before we get started, can you share with us one extra healthy-ish goal or tweak or something that you want to achieve this year?
Yeah, I think for me, myself, I'd love to prioritize my sleep. And I think I've been doing that though recently. So one thing I'm trying to do in this year is to stay more present in the moment. So this is like a mental health, I guess, for me, is to be more present in what I'm doing and not thinking about the future, worrying about that, or thinking about the past and worrying about that. I'm just trying to be in the moment more and enjoying the moments more. That's one thing I'm trying.
And one thing you said on Healthy-ish, which I will mention for those listeners who didn't listen, is that you actually set your, let's call them resolutions, or whatever they are, goals, in November and December the year before.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about this.
Because I find if I start fresh from Monday or start from the new year, if I fall off, it feels like I've lost that momentum. Whereas if I started back in November, December, I'm already doing those things. It's just a matter of continuing on in the new year. So I've already got that 30 days, 60 days of consistency under the belt. And then I go, yeah, this is me now. Because it's all about a lifestyle, new lifestyle shift, I guess. You want to keep those changes. You don't want to try on a brand new approach and then go, this isn't me. I can't do this. It doesn't last. And then you fall off again. Yeah.
How are you doing? What sort of tools and strategies are you applying to stay in the moment? Because it's so easier said than done, right?
Yeah, I know. It's hard. And I think I look back, that feeling of like nostalgia when you look back and go, oh, that was so awesome. I'm like, I don't want to just have that. Like, I want to enjoy, the moments as they come, because then at the end of the day, I look back and go, oh, that was actually really cool. Like if we did when I did the TV interviews, I tried to really enjoy that because I'm like, I might not do this for a while or however long. So I'm trying to just ground myself in whatever I'm doing and go, this is actually a good experience, because all you have is now. You don't really have the future and past are pretty much just concepts in your head. So you only have now. So it's just reminding myself, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've actually got this little mantra where I come back to like, what are you doing right now? And I just always say that to myself. And it's like, what am I thinking right now? Where's my head at? What am I doing right now? Oh, I'm here interviewing Zach, and I'm enjoying it. And because I'm with you, you look back and you think, hang on, where's my life gone?
Yeah.
Where was I in that moment?
Exactly. You're probably worrying about something else. Yeah.
Now, tell us about you. In your book, you talk about being this chubby kid. Tell us a bit about who you are.
Yeah, it's difficult. I actually tried to sum it up in a couple of chapters, because one of them was about like me going through my childhood, playing the euphonium, a bit of a dorky kid. I think as a kid I was very I expressed to myself a lot in how I wanted to be. I didn't try to be the cool kid as much. Like, I was in the play. I liked the things that I liked, and one of them was food. And what I wasn't very active as a kid. So I think just with that, you might put on a bit of body fat in the process. And I think it was all fine until I was around 14, 15, and then going into high school and then going, oh, okay, this is, you start to get more concerned about what people think of you and if people like you or not, and if you're getting the girls and attention and stuff. So then I think my self-esteem started to dip a little bit in those kind of early adolescent years. And because of that, because I was scared about what people would think. Whereas as a kid, I didn't care. I would put myself out there, volunteer, hand up for things. And I lost it a little bit in high school when I was going through that, because I tried to be accepted and fit in and everything. So that started my fitness journey, I think, when I was about 14, 15 years old. And I really wanted to change my body because I didn't have much of that confidence anymore, I think. And then it's been a huge, over 10 years of training, and that really started the journey of falling in love with fitness. But then only in the last, several years, when I was 22, maybe, when I thought, let's tap back into that, kind of childhood. That's what I talk about. One of the chapters is like embracing that child version of you who didn't care about the societal expectations or didn't care about what other people think. And it's more about just being that version of you. So it's funny because when I get asked the question of like, tell me about yourself, I don't even put myself in a box, because I go, well, if you speak to me in one day, I'll be educating you about something. You speak to me another one, I'll be having a laugh or being an idiot and just, just making a fool of myself. So, which I think is good, because there's so many, aspects of people's personalities that it's silly to just put yourself in a box and go, oh, I only do fitness. Like, I'm just a fitness guy,
In your book, I think, you write that there was 3 steps to almost changing yourself, or it was shifting your perception that then obviously transformed your life. Can we talk about these? Because I think they're really pertinent for the new year. I mean, number 1, identifying the person you want to become.
So that was it's like a 3-step process, I feel, and it can be applied to anything really, because as we mentioned earlier, when people start new ventures or goals, they'll easily fall off. And it's because they rely on willpower. A lot of the time they rely on willpower and grit, because everyone thinks, oh no, I can just stick it out and I can just smash it. And you can for a while, but what's really going to cause lasting change is when it becomes a part of your identity. That's why the first step is identify who it is that you want to become. So let's say if you've never gone to the gym before, or maybe you're like me as a chubby kid and that's kind of you now. I thought, okay, well, who do I want to become? I want to become the fit guy. That's like what I literally thought, is I want to be the guy who has abs and who's fit and is confident and like that. So then, okay, I've got that. So then step 2 is identify the behaviors that person would do. So then you think, okay, what do fit people do? And I think people they overthink this step a lot, and they think, oh, well, I don't know exactly, because do I have 2 meals or 3 or 4? What's the exact thing? And it's like, you know what they do. They don't eat McDonald's every day. You just know that. They exercise. And so when I was in that position of starting, I didn't know anything. I didn't even have much online to look at. I was 14 years old as a kid. So I did what I thought they'd do, and I ran, and I ate a lot of like fruits and juices and stuff, and I didn't eat a lot of junk food. And when you know it, that's what happened.
It really is that simple.
It is. And I lost weight, and I started feeling good, and then that triggered actually understanding how to do it. So then after a while, now I'm where I am now. I obviously know how to do it. So you've identified the person you want to become, then you've identified the behaviors, and then you just start to model those behaviors and then reaffirm them into your identity. So you think, okay, this is who I am. I'm the type of person who doesn't eat McDonald's or whatever that is, for example. So, and then you remove the choice. This is like a little subcomponent that you just remove the choice for yourself. So I find people go, okay, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy. And then someone goes, hey, do you want to get KFC for lunch? And then they go, oh, should I? Oh, yeah, I will do it. And whereas me, when I was going through that process, if someone would say, do you want to go get fast food for lunch? I would happily say, I have no choice. I go, I can't, I don't eat that. It's actually not, it's not my responsibility, it's not my choice. I don't eat that stuff, because the person who I'm trying to be doesn't eat that stuff. So it's more like an identity shift instead of just a quick choice of, oh, do you feel like eating this now? Because sure, on any given day, you'll feel like eating whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you've already...
Not KFC though.
I still love all that stuff, every junk, but I know that's not who I am. I'm not the person who has KFC just because he feels like it sometime. And that's an identity thing. It's not a food thing, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like the fit guy now? I mean, you're incredibly fit.
Thanks. I do.
You've got nice big muscles.
Yeah, I do. I do feel like that guy, but I feel even better, because I think I focus so much more on the mindset and the mental side of things that I felt so much more empowered than just being that body, because it's so much more than that. I love what I've taken from fitness into the mental side of things too.
Well answered, by the way. Talk
Thanks.
to us about that mental fitness side of things. How did you, when you were discovering the fitness, the running and the eating healthy, how did you discover yourself in the mental fitness side
Because
of
I
things?
think in order to do all of that stuff, you need some kind of a level of resilience and a level of willpower and grit that says, I'm not happy with this situation right now. I'm not happy with how my life is going, and I need to do something to change it. So then at some point, there's like that switch that flips. You go, I need to do something now. And I think when you do that, and when you act on those moments of forcing yourself to go to the gym, using your willpower, you discover that you're capable of a lot. So in that process, I mean, I was doing my running. I didn't mention this. I was doing my running in the snow. I lived in the snow for a season and went to school there.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would put on my gloves and beanie in the morning at 6 a.m. and go run in the snow. And
That's
when
impressive.
you do that, thank you.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do that now. Too soft. But when you do that stuff every single day, you feel like a weapon after 2 weeks, 3
Yeah.
weeks, because every little thing you do adds to that character and identity. And you're going, wow, this is me. And then people go, like you just said, they go, that's impressive. Well, you've been running every day in the snow. And you go, yeah, it is kind of impressive. And then it builds and builds and builds until you have all of these kind of tools in your toolbox of reasons as to why you are that person. And it kind of adds up and adds up. So with the mental side of things, it led me to realize that there was a lot of discipline. And when I put my mind to something, I had proof in the pudding that I'm good at that and I can really stick it out. And not a lot of people give themselves a chance to even see the proof. They go, oh, I'm weak-minded, I can't do that. And so give yourself a chance to be strong-minded and show yourself that you can, because after doing that for 30 days or a bit longer, after that time, you'll go, you know what, I've got proof as to why I am mentally strong, or whatever that is.
And there's so much power in that mindset, and even the words, I did that. I can do that.
I think
so much power in it, and so empowering at the same time.
It's a confidence thing too, right? Because you need proof of competence to actually be confident in something. You need to have those references that you look back on that go, here's the reasons why I'm good. You can't just be delusional and go, I'm amazing, I'm strong-minded, and you have nothing to back it up, because you know you won't be certain about it.
Yeah.
But knowing that you do those things, like I often say that the key to confidence is just doing things enough so you've got proof. That you prove to yourself that I'm actually pretty good at this. I'll put myself out there, I'll accomplish things. Because then it stacks up and you go, wow, I'm actually okay.
Yeah, I can do this. Now, I just want to talk about, something that caught my attention on your Instagram feed, which I loved, that you've tried obviously following the fitness routines and diets plans of some of the fittest and strongest people in the world. Tell us about this.
It was an idea I had of trying different celebrity routines and things like that. And I found that people really maybe they loved the way I put it together too, like my spin on trying, like Michael Phelps's day of swimming at its hardest. So I remember I did it was a Michael Phelps, pretty much day of his training and eating, because I thought it was interesting. I stumbled across the routine. It was kilometers of swimming. It was ridiculous. And I'm not a great swimmer, but I'm like, okay. And it was also peak winter in Melbourne, so I was freezing. But I'm like, it's okay, it'll be funny for the video. And then the food side of things was like 10,000 calories a day. I thought I could do that.
So hang on, let's just go back to the swimming. How you swim in your pool?
So I swam in my pool, and I actually got there in the morning. I put on like a skin tight, like almost like a rash vest. It was a compression top. I'm like, this would be fine. The pool was 9 degrees, I think. And I went in, I was freezing. And then I actually had my mum filming me at the time, because there was no one else home. So I got mum to shoot, and she was filming me, and she goes, and I finished 2 laps, and I'm like, still couldn't. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm already committed. I'm all right. I'm like, it's fine. I'll keep going.
So how many laps did you do?
I had to do hundreds. I think 400 in total, or 900 in total, something crazy.
What
I'll
the
have to
hell?
check. But in the morning, I did 3 or 4. And after 11 laps, I lost feeling basically in my arms and my muscles. I lost feeling. I couldn't warm up. My brain was like, my brain freeze was crazy. So I went up and I was full shivering, and I Googled hypothermia, and I actually could have got it. So I quickly ducked off and bought the warmest wetsuit they had at the surf shop, and came back and just swam the rest of it until awesome. I think it was 9 o'clock at night. I finished up the swimming at night in the pool, and I hated it. In the morning I woke up and my neck was all bleeding because I don't wear wetsuits, so it was it was just not ideal. It wasn't fun, but it made a fun video.
And what food?
I think I had like
you?
Breakfast was almost like a loaf of bread with fried eggs, like heaps of egg sandwiches and bacon, and that was easy, because I think when you swim you get pretty hungry. So I started off swimming, and then after that I'm like, this is fine. So the food wasn't really an issue. It was actually okay.
Yeah.
It was the swimming, and that's what gets me all the time, is the physical exercise is usually the hardest, because I can eat a fair bit, so that was all right.
What about, I'm a bit fascinated with US Navy SEAL David Goggins. I mean, he is next level.
That was actually biting off more than I could chew, because when I started doing that, I thought, okay, I'll do the swim portion of it. And it was another ridiculous swim, but this time I tried to do it in the ocean. And so then I went out there.
Out in Melbourne?
Yeah. And I went out in there, and it was too wild in terms of the weather and everything, that I actually thought, I'm fearing for my life right now. So I had to call it quits and go to one of those swimming centers and do some laps in the pool, because his food was basically like nothing when he was at that level trying to drop the weight.
Yeah.
He was eating, I think, like an apple and like a tin of tuna or something a day, and just going full nothing and just exercise, like running, swimming, bike. most hours of the day he was just training.
What about Ross Edgley? I mean, he is also next level. I'm sure
Oh,
all
yeah.
these people are just,
I mean,
like,
I
are
even
they
threw,
human?
I don't know. They could be AI. I threw Elon Musk in there too. He's not an athlete, but like he was an interesting guy. But
Yeah,
Ross's was interesting because he obviously swam around Great Britain, and so I tried to make that into a challenge because I remember I read his book and in it he was saying he was eating maybe 15,000 calories a day just to fuel the swimming. So I asked him what his foods were and what that
you
looked
talked
like.
to him. You reached out to
Yeah,
him.
because I met Ross back in UK, so we had connected. So I asked him if he could explain just what that was like and what the meals were like, and it was hilarious because he was saying that one of his meals, because he had no time, he obviously was swimming all the time, so he had no time to cook or anything like that. So one of his meals was like a hot bag of oats, and it was a bag, like a piping bag that he found he could just pipe into his mouth and just keep swimming. So I was like, that's fun. So I remember doing it, and it's still really nice oats. It's like oats with dark chocolate, peanut butter, and then I just had it on the side, and then I just was piping into my mouth and in between swims, and that was
awesome.
that was okay. But then one of them, I think I had another one, and it was too much, and I think I just spewed up after in the video.
Now, what about Elvis Presley? That was his cheat day.
That's probably one of my favorite videos. That's because I think Elvis was known for his crazy cheat meals of like obsession with food, and so I Googled which ones they were, and so I basically handpicked a few of my favorites that I thought that sounds pretty epic. And one of them that he was really famous for, that's why if you go to some burger joints, you'll see they have like an Elvis burger sometimes in the menu, and it's because it has bacon and peanut butter in it. And in this burger, it's like a whole loaf of bread.
Heart attack right there.
It is, I know. I think this one was 1,800 calories, I'm pretty sure. No, it was more. It was over 2,000 calories, and it was loaf of bread and basically hollowed out to put a whole pack of bacon in there, and then basically nearly a whole jar of peanut butter, a whole jar of jam, like jelly, and close it up. And that's like this whole loaf. And I think at the time I was dieting. So when you diet, you have mad cravings because your brain just thinks food all the time. So I finished it. It was fine. It was actually, and it was
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was nice. It was actually really good. He had like, everything was basically wrapped in bacon. Like he had like meatballs wrapped in bacon. Like everything was just bacon galore. So I had enough bacon for, I think, the year that day.
What would Zac Perna's day be?
So my day is, well, I pretty much do the same thing most days. I'll wake up and I'll go get some kind of caffeine. So usually it's like my pre-workout or a coffee or whatever. And I go back to bed and I read. I read usually nonfiction just to start my day well. I definitely don't touch my phone or look on social media because I realized that was super destructive for me. So I just read maybe 10, 15 minutes. In the past, it's been up to 30 minutes if I'm really enjoying it. And then I go to the gym and I'll do around an hour of weights, maybe 20 minutes cardio. And then I pretty much will have a swim and then get to work. And my work changes all the time, so it's quite fun. And then I usually have my first meal at around 12 or 1 p.m. So I fast. And I have my first meal around that time and second meal around 6. And then I might have like a sweet yogurt or something before bed. Yeah. And that's pretty much in terms of the fitness and that workout, it's quite easy, I feel. Easy to maintain.
Yeah, exactly. And what does 2024 have in store for you? I mean, you've got a pretty epic following on your social media.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot on the go. I think now I love making clothing brands. Obviously, I have the brand Slouch Potato. That's the pajamas. I'll have to get you some.
Very
of those.
fun.
Yeah,
I'm sure my husband and boys
they're very fun.
love
Yeah, it's a
rocking
good
around in
family
those.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I do that with my brother because we love that. And then we have more projects that we're going to be looking into doing. That's I think a new clothing line as well coming out. That's going to be coming out this year, which will be fun. And just a few businesses. I love to keep it guessing and change. As we were talking about earlier, like sometimes I'm filming for a whole day and then sometimes I'm doing just other stuff. I kind of have to be on the go doing different things all the time.
Yeah. Well done with your success and your book. And I look forward to seeing more of those fun videos.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'll get back to it.
Yeah. Thanks, Zac.
Thank you.